I showed up to my high school reunion in a domestic car, and most of my classmates were already there, watching. Hey everyone. Before we kick off today's video, I've got a favor to ask. We've noticed our channel isn't getting as much love lately, and subscribing is one of the easiest ways you can help us out. It's quick, free, and it means we can keep bringing you awesome content. Your support really means a lot, so let's work together to keep this channel growing. Thanks a bunch. Now, let's dive into the video. I showed up to the reunion and everyone seemed to be doing pretty well for themselves, cruising around in Mercedes or BMWs. There was even a sleek black Rolls-Royce in the lot. As soon as I got out of my car, this girl from my class, couldn't for the life of me remember her name, glanced at me with total disdain. "Oh, isn't this our class's study committee member? How'd you end up like this after graduation, still driving a domestic car?" she sneered. During dinner, everyone was clinking glasses with the Rolls-Royce owner, pretty much pretending I didn't exist. Thankfully, the class leader sat next to me, trying to comfort me with a glass of wine, saying, "Don't worry, I'm sure you'll drive a luxury car one day." I chuckled a bit and replied, "This isn't just any domestic car, it's the Phantom S9. If it wasn't for the class leader bombarding me with messages, I wouldn't have turned up. I even bailed on a major meeting just to show up for an hour out of respect for old pals." But to my surprise, no one talked about the good old days. It was all just bragging and flattery, which wasn't my scene. So, I got up to leave, but the class leader tried to stop me. "Fernando, it's not a big deal to drive a local car. Don't rush off." Just then, the same girl who mocked me earlier caught me with another disdainful glance and said, "Come on, it's been ages since we caught up. Aren't you interested?" But clearly, no one else was up for chatting with me, and she just laughed. I coldly replied, "No, thanks. I only came out of respect for the class leader. Don't bother inviting me to these pointless get-togethers again." Suddenly, Raphael, who was the star of the show, stood up. "What do you mean, Fernando? Are you saying we're not good enough to dine with you?" He totally twisted my words, and everyone seemed to side with him. Driving a cheap car and looking down on us? I thought top students like you would have turned out pretty incredible, but guess not. What's the use of good grades? You're still just a civil servant. Well, she wasn't entirely wrong. All public officials fall under that category here. "Fernando, are you mad because you're being ignored and now making excuses to leave?" Someone else chimed in. "I just wanted out," but Raphael's comment got everyone riled up. I quickly apologized, explaining I had an important meeting soon. "Today's meal is on me. Order whatever you like, and have the restaurant send me the bill." Just as I reached for my coat, a woman in a fiery red dress with matching lipstick blocked my way. "Wow, big spender, can you even afford this?" "Ha!" she taunted, her perfume so strong it made me sneeze. She looked at me, "Don't you remember me?" I squinted, trying to place her face, and then admitted, "Sorry, I've met too many people lately." She let out a mocking laugh. "Come on, Fernando. You chased me for 3 years in high school." A bell rang in my head. It was Mariana. "Are you Mariana?" I asked cautiously. A smug smile spread across her face. "See, you haven't forgotten me. But don't get any ideas. I'm engaged to Raphael," she declared. So, Raphael was the Rolls-Royce guy. But honestly, I didn't care. I needed to jet, or I was going to be late for my meeting. Seeing me silent, Mariana patted my arm and quipped, "Civil servants don't make much money, huh? Hey, why don't you drive for my fiancé instead? He'll pay you $11,000 a month, which has got to be better than your measly salary, right?" As soon as she said that, everyone started laughing. I couldn't figure out why people like them always felt the need to put others down to make themselves feel better. I decided this was the last class reunion I'd attend. Ignoring Mariana's jab, I casually put on my coat. "Are you done? If so, move aside. I've got stuff to do." I had just taken a few steps when Raphael, who was sitting across from me, suddenly slammed his hand on the table. Immediately, a bunch of big guys in black suits rushed in. They had Fitzroy Group nameplates on them, a big name in Langston City. Raphael chugged his drink and then burped. "Fernando, did I say you could leave?" I squinted at him. "Do I have to ask your permission to walk with my own legs?" Raphael just laughed. "You're just a low-level civil servant. Don't you realize whose turf you're on? This whole restaurant belongs to my family. You're not leaving here without my say-so." Seeing the tension, the class leader jumped in, trying to smooth things over. "Hey, calm down, both of you. We've known each other for years. Don't let this mess up the vibe." Then he turned to me, saying, Fernando, we're all finally here together. How can you just leave early? Sit down, have a drink, and catch up. I knew he was trying to help, but I really had to go. Sorry, I know I'm killing the vibe, but I have something important to handle. There's a bunch of people at work waiting for me for a meeting. But Raphael wasn't having it. He banged the table again. Fernando, cut the act. What meeting could a low-level civil servant like you possibly have? He was basically saying I was pretending to be someone important. As I was about to reply, the class leader whispered to me, Fernando, maybe you should apologize. The Fitzroy family is a big deal here. You could lose your job. But I knew better. With my current position, no amount of their influence could touch my job. I signaled the class leader not to worry. Raphael, if you're mad cause I used to like your fiancée, let me clear it up. I have zero interest in Mariana. Focus your energy elsewhere. We're not the same kind of people. I just wanted to clear the air, but Raphael was having none of it. He looked at me, his eyes red with anger. Are you saying I picked up trash and my fiancé isn't worth it? And what do you mean we're not the same? Langston's full of businesses owned by my family. Who do you think you are? Just as he finished, Mariana backed him up. Fernando, what do you mean by that? You think I'm not good enough now? Even though I thought just that, I held back to not make things worse. I told them I didn't have time to chat, and they should let me leave. Even with all of Raphael's provocations, I kept my cool. It was a class reunion after all, and I didn't want to ruin it. But just as I was about to leave, one of Raphael's bodyguards stopped me. Raphael swaggered over, acting all high and mighty, and slapped me. You think you're a big shot now? Do you even know whose name this hotel carries? In school, you used to be the one always tattling. Go on, make a call. Let's see if anyone helps you now that we're not in school anymore. So, there I was, staring down Raphael. I was holding it in, but man, he was really pushing it. Back in school, he was always that guy, never did his work, always acting out. I used to tell the teachers for his own good. Now, I'm reminding him, hey, you're an adult, think before you act. Raphael looks around the room, and like, everyone's watching. He goes, oh, so I should worry about consequences now, huh, Fernando? Even if I mess you up today, what are you really gonna do? You think being a top student makes you all that? You should know the Fitzroy name holds a lot of weight here. I just took a deep breath and told him, dude, ever hear about not picking fights with the wrong people? Back off, or you'll be the one regretting it. The room was dead silent, but I wasn't going to let him scare me. Money, power, bodyguards, whatever. I know who I am, and Raphael's just a spoiled kid who's used to stepping over people. Our old classmates were watching, some entertained, some curious. The class leader was all, come on Fernando, just apologize, it's not worth it. I laughed a bit and shook my head. Apologize for what? For not pandering to a rich kid who thinks he's a gangster? Raphael gave this slow, sarcastic clap and was like, bravo, Fernando, think you're better than me? Then he signaled his bodyguards, and they grabbed me. But I didn't fight back, not yet. Raphael starts with, money can fix anything, and guys like you always end up crawling back. I just smiled, not saying much, and he goes, what's wrong, cat got your tongue? I sighed, shrugged, and muttered, you think you can mess with me here and get away with it? He laughed and said, who's gonna stop me, you? Then I dropped the bomb. You even know my position in the government, Raphael? Do you know who I know? My influence isn't from a bank account. You might have cash, but you can't erase what happens today. His laughter stopped. Some folks in the room looked shocked, and his confidence wavered a bit. He muttered, you're bluffing. I told him to test it. His bodyguard seemed unsure, and it clicked for him that maybe he wasn't untouchable. Raphael sneered, saying he could ruin me with one call. I dared him to try. Call anyone you need, Raphael. But remember, if I want, you'll be up to your neck in audits, investigations, everything your family's been hiding. The room was silent. The bodyguards let go. Raphael looked rattled. I adjusted my coat, walked towards the door, paused next to him, and whispered, touch me, and your family's in deeper trouble than you think. I left. Over the next weeks, Raphael tried to retaliate, pulling strings, but nothing stuck. I was a step ahead. Soon enough, audits started, and the shady stuff came to light. The Fitzroy empire began to crumble. Raphael realized he messed with the wrong guy. Last I heard, he was selling everything to cover the penalties. Mariana? She bailed as soon as the cash flow stopped. As for me, I moved on. So, I just kept climbing the ladder, building up my influence the right way, without having to step on anyone to get there. Funny thing is, after that day, I never got another class reunion invite. It's like they wiped me from their memories. But honestly, it was a relief not having to go through that charade again. Now, Raphael had a front row seat to his own life falling apart. It started with these small, low-key investigations into the Fitzroy Group, which quickly turned into a full-blown crisis. I watched from afar as he scrambled to control the chaos. First, he tried to bribe the investigators, which was a no-go. Then, he reached out to his political buddies, hoping for a lifeline, only to find out that nobody wanted to be associated with a sinking ship. In the end, he had to sell off a bunch of his family's businesses just to cover the damages and booming fines. That cocky attitude he showed at the restaurant? It vanished, replaced by pure desperation. The final blow came when his own dad disowned him, seeing that Raphael couldn't save their empire. Left with nothing, no money, no power, and not even a decent job, Raphael became just another guy trying to make ends meet, managing a struggling small restaurant. As for Mariana, it wasn't shocking when she disappeared the second Raphael's fortune wasn't a sure thing anymore. She tried to latch onto other businessmen to keep up her lifestyle but soon realized she wasn't as special as she thought. People like her only matter when they're linked to someone powerful, and without Raphael, she was just another face in the crowd. I heard she tried to marry a middle-aged executive, a divorced guy more interested in her as arm candy than anything else. That didn't last long. He ditched her once he realized she was more hassle than she was worth. Now, she works at a fancy boutique, selling clothes to the same rich women she used to envy. It's kind of ironic, right? If she'd stayed with me back then, she might have had everything she dreamed of. Then there's the class leader, still trying to keep everyone happy, never really committing to anything. He reached out to me once, trying to explain he just wanted to keep the peace. I just shook my head. People like him don't earn respect, only pity. Most of the others moved on, though some are still stuck in their old ways, trying to prove they're successful and happy, maintaining this fragile illusion. As for me, I moved forward. I built my career, expanded my influence, and earned everything through my own hard work. Unlike Raphael, I didn't inherit anything. Every win, every recognition, it was all me. I sometimes wonder if any of them ever think about me, if Raphael realizes he caused his own downfall, or if Mariana regrets her choices. But in the end, who cares? I've never needed their approval. Real value doesn't need to shout to be seen. Eventually, everyone ends up where they belong, and for them, that's the shadow of their own choices.